Hi everyone, Mike Wolf here with Entrepreneurs Making a Difference, where we connect entrepreneurs from all over the globe in order for them to collaborate and do amazing things together. And today I want to welcome to the show a friend of mine. His name is Mel Cutler, and I'm just going to read his bio here. He's been a serial entrepreneur from the age of 19. He trains business owners and entrepreneurs with the essential tools and mindset. Having started 6 companies, with 2 of them creating 7-figure revenue streams, Mel has taken the lesson he's learned from his personal experiences and paired them with the wisdom he has gained from mentoring with extremely successful entrepreneurs to teach others how to create a successful business mindset while simultaneously creating income from monetizing their passion. Stressing the importance of creating entrepreneur communities to encourage and support budding and seasoned entrepreneurs, Mel also encourages social entrepreneurship and giving back to the greater community and the world. His current project is his Success Academy, where he runs the popular Entrepreneur Revolution weekends to bring people into larger and more intensive business and mindset classes, creating an all-encompassing academy that gives any entrepreneur the necessary tools for success. So welcome to the show, Mel.
Awesome. Mike, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you and what you're doing to inspire other entrepreneurs, and that's what I'm here for. So thank you so much for having me. I know we're going to have a great, fun time right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And you know, I had the pleasure of meeting you in person not that long ago, and I just think you're a great guy. I got to hang out with you and your team, and you're doing some phenomenal things. So I just want to congratulate you on both what you've created, and not just you know, we sometimes see the business side of people, but I got to know you a little bit as you know, on the personal side, and I see how you treat your team and how you treat other people, and it's just very commendable.
Awesome. Thank you. That's it's one of the key things I learned from a mentor early on is, you know, no matter who they are, how you treat others is really how you're going to treat yourself. And it really that also depends on your level of happiness, right? You can have all the money in the world, but if you inside aren't happy, then really what's the point? And so treating others is how you're going to treat yourself. And so, you know, how you do the small things in life is also how you're going to do the big things. So that's one thing I really focus on. And I saw the same thing about you, Mike. So I'm really glad we got to connect.
Yeah, me too. I'm really glad we got to connect, and we had obviously a lot of things in common. So you've been doing entrepreneurial things since you were 19, and you've run you know, several 7-figure businesses, and that's tremendous. Well, what are some of the big mistakes that either you've experienced yourself, or what are some of the big mistakes you see other entrepreneurs making?
Well, that's really, really key. I believe that mistakes are the path to learning. So anyone watching this, listening to this, if you are going through some big challenges, mistakes, hurdles in your life, you're on the right path. That's how you learn. One of the biggest things that I've learned, that I would say one of my biggest challenges is when I started up my first company at 19. At 19, I had no clue. I was a dumb kid and just wanted to get out of the corporate structure, and I wanted to create something for myself, but I had no clue how to do it. And when I started my first internet company, I wasn't really the person to lead others. Even though we managed to grow a team of 30 and we created a successful company, that company did not turn into a 7-figure company. But we were doing a few $100,000 a year. And what I realized is a few years into that company, the only way to be able to create something sustainable is to work on yourself, is to grow yourself as a leader. And the CEOs in our day and age, the ones that are getting paid the millions and millions of dollars, the ones we read about, the ones we see on TV, they get paid less for what they do every day and more of who they are. And so at 19, I didn't know who I was. I was just trying to make some money. And very quickly, I didn't appreciate the people around me. I didn't give them the respect that was due. And our company that was doing quite well turned out in a few years going bankrupt. And at that time, I didn't realize the powerful lesson it was teaching me. At that time, you know, I went from driving the car of my dreams to living in a beautiful house to that next month having to put payroll on a credit card I didn't know how I was going to pay off, and really hitting rock bottom. And understanding that, look, if this is, at that time it was hard to really learn, because I'm like, what is going on? Maybe business isn't for me, maybe it's me, you know, maybe it's the economy, trying to blame everything all around me, maybe it's my business partners, but realizing in that moment that something inside had to change. And that was one of my biggest lessons, is seeing, having to fire my friends, seeing the company deteriorate, and thinking to myself, what's next? What's next? What the heck is going to happen now? And knowing that if I can make it from that to moving on and starting up another company and being successful, that I could do anything. And that was the moment back then, 19 years old. This was in 2001. If I knew that if I could get back from that, then I would want to help other entrepreneurs. I would want to say, look, I've been down to the depths. I've lost money, lost relationships, lost friendships, made a ton of mistakes. And if I can make it back from that, then I want to give the gift of inspiring, educating other entrepreneurs with the right mindset and skill set to be able to create whatever lifestyle and life they want. So that was one of my biggest lessons back then, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's a big takeaway, because I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we always we do hit the lows. We hit highs, but we also hit lows, and sometimes at the time we're hitting those lows, we don't know, is it our fault, or why are we experiencing this? And quite often later on in life we realize why that happened, and I think it makes us much more humble, and it makes us want to help other people, as opposed to if we were just flying high the whole time, making great money and having perfect lives and being perfectly happy, we probably would forget about all the other people out there. We just keep doing it, and I think we need that, and I've experienced that myself.
That's true. Very, very true.
Yeah, so who were some of your influences? I mean, at 19, I wasn't doing a whole lot of entrepreneurial stuff when I was 19. Was there something that when you were younger, maybe you read a book, or there was somebody in your life that inspired you to go down the entrepreneurial path?
Yeah, absolutely. That I would not be at the place where I'm at without the phenomenal mentors, without the phenomenal connections, the people that I hang out with. It wouldn't be possible to have attained what I've attained. And at 19 years old, I had a moment in my life that was that 180-degree shift. I was born with something called cystic fibrosis, and cystic fibrosis affects the lungs and the digestive system. And 15 years ago, kids were not living past 13 years old. And I was hospitalized at 19, and I had IVs in both arms, a tube down my nose. It was absolutely horrible. And in that place, I remember the doctor walking in, and the doctor looks at the charts, and he looks at me, and he says, Mel, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And that blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God. My dad probably told me that 1,000 times. But coming from the doctor, right at a place where I was feeling so much pain, it shifted things. And from that point on, I'm like, things have to change. And at that time, I was working 3 jobs. I had a full-time girlfriend, which was like a 4th job. And I was
That's like 4th and 5th and 6th job.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of my jobs was working valet, and I was working at a very fancy restaurant in Long Beach, California. And this gentleman was a regular. He'd come in all the time, and he was driving a car that was as much as people's houses. And he would come in with his wife, and it would seem like they had an amazing relationship. And he had amazing health. He was fit. So he had what I call the trifecta: amazing health, amazing wealth, and amazing relationships. And I'm like, man, one day I want to be like that guy. I want to figure out how he got what he got. But my parents growing up always told me, rich people, they don't want to help you. They're greedy. They're stingy. Why would they ever want to, give you their secrets? And so I was scared of rich people. I always put these people up on a pedestal. And when you do that, you can't connect with them. But one day I was working at valet, and I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And he came in. It was the end of the night. I pulled up his car, 5 feet, because it was one of those cars you always kept right up front. And I asked him 2 questions, and my knees were trembling. I was sweating. And I said, sir, what is it that you do? And can you help me, please? And that moment, it's interesting how certain moments we make a decision, we take action, and certain moments in our life completely change. In that moment, I thought in my head he was going to slap me. But what happened is he actually took out his business card and he handed it to me. And he said, I want you to call me tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Well, back then I only had one 7 o'clock in my time schedule, and it was only 7 p.m. But he said, call me at 7 a.m. And I woke up extra early that morning, a little bit hungover, and I called him, and we ended up meeting for coffee that morning. And what he shared with me were wealth principles that I've held on to with dear life and applied them year after year after year after year to financially be set. But not only to financially to be set, but to create the lifestyle where I travel with Kate, my fiance, getting married next month. We travel 4 to 5 months out of the year. We live an amazing life. We live in Corona del Mar, a block from the beach. And I tell that to people because it's possible. I'm 31 years old. I've been focusing on creating this lifestyle since I was 19. Well, I believe that if any one person has focused for anything for 10, 11 years, you're going to get it. But what I've done for the past 11 years is I figured out what actually works. What are the success patterns that repeat over and over and over again to be able to duplicate that success faster? And you can apply that into your business, into your life, into your relationships, and then continuously get success. So when I sat down with this gentleman, he shared with me some wealth principles, and he said, and Mike, you'll relate to this because you've done this in your life too. Every time I'm talking to you, you're in a different city. You're traveling all around. You've created passive income. Well, if we can do it, so can other people. And it's just being able to really decide it's what you want. It's understanding your limiting beliefs, understanding your negative emotions that hold you back from action. It's creating the compelling future for yourself. And then it's going out there and finding amazing mentors and learning the skills you need. Now, it is a process. Is it easy? It's not. I'll be the first person to say it's not easy, but it is simple. It totally is. And so he sat with me and he shared with me two major things, and I'll share them right now. Two things that I've applied over and over and over again. The first thing is you have to become more valuable. If you're taking notes, if you're watching this video, stop watching and start taking notes. Write this down. Type it up or write it down. You have to become more valuable. Whatever you are right now, the value you possess right now, is what you're getting paid. So to get paid something better, you have to become more valuable. Bring more value to the marketplace. It could be in real estate. Well, you might have one property. If you get 10 properties, well, now you're helping 10 families. If you get 100 properties, now you're helping 100 families. Now, yes, you're going to be responsible. You might have bigger headaches if you don't know how to put the right systems in place. But the first piece of the equation is to become more valuable. Learn better sales skills. Become better at marketing. Become better at leading people. Whatever it might be, pick up the book, attend the course. I can't tell you, Mike, how many courses. Every year, Kate and I spend over $100,000 on our self-education, on going to different courses, buying different programs. It's something we've made an effort in our lives to lead by example to do that. So you need to become more valuable. And the second piece is then take that value you have and bring it to the marketplace. That's called marketing. If you do those two things, you will be in a completely different place a year from now, guaranteed, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's some great advice.
Yeah, two major things.
Yeah, so you covered a lot of really important points there. So let's go back to the cystic fibrosis, and I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. Is that something that you're now cured of, or is that something that still plagues you in any way, or how does? I'm not familiar with that.
There's no cure. So it's a genetic disease. So your mom has a gene, your dad has a gene, and then there's a chance that you'll have it. 30,000 people have it in the U.S. But I have two younger brothers. One of them is a carrier. He doesn't have any symptoms. And the other one isn't even a carrier. But for me, like this morning, I had to do an aerosol treatment to clear the junk out of my lungs. Every time I eat meals, I take enzymes to help digest the food. So it is something that it takes daily maintenance. Kate and I run by the beach. We stay very physical. We go paddle boarding. The salt water really helps. And so that's something every day that I struggle with. but I've learned that that really makes me appreciate life every single day. We have a very limited amount of time on this earth. It's limited. It's, before you know it, the last 10 years flew by, the next 10 years are going to fly by for sure. So what are we doing with it now? And that has made me, cystic fibrosis has made me very aware of how I invest my time, who I invest my time with, what is it exactly I do on a daily basis. And so, yeah, every day it's a gift, really. It keeps me aware and thankful of life.
Yeah, well, that's great because I mean, when I met you, I had no idea of this, first of all. And second of all, you look very fit and it looks like you take care of yourself. So congratulations on that. Because so many entrepreneurs, and I'm kind of guilty of this myself, we tend to quite often focus on the business, but we kind of forget about we let our health kind of lag or relationships kind of lag. And now you're one of those people who now I would say has that trifecta where I met you and Kate and you guys make a great couple, and congratulations on your upcoming wedding. And it looks like you take care of your health. You have stuff that you had no control over, but the things that you do have control over, you're taking good care of, and you obviously have the money mindset in place now too.
Yeah, it's been work. What can I say? It's been a focus that, hey, this is what I want, because I've been at the place. I believe entrepreneurs, the ones that are scared to fail, the ones that are scared to experience things that may be negative, they're not going to make it, because it's part of life. If I wasn't on my deathbed and I didn't understand that, there's nothing that's more important than health. All the money in the world, you don't care about any of it when you don't feel good. When you don't feel good, you don't care about anything. So feeling good through life, in business, in your relationships, in going to work out, that's the whole point of life, is to feel good, is to be happy. Why else would we be living? There's no point to live miserably. So that's what I really encourage a lot of my students to do. I run a lot of live events to help other entrepreneurs. I have online programs and things. And one of the main principles is feel good. You might be going through a time in your life that is a very trying time. It hurts. But the thing is why not feel good while you go through that? That's a choice. You can feel, when somebody says, oh, well, I just want to be happy. Well, that's not a really good goal, because being happy, you can have it now. You can have happy in an instant. Tony Robbins says that you can change your state, your emotional being, in a heartbeat. You need to think about it, put yourself into a state, and then you can get there, right? Mike, we've all listened, we've all been in a negative state, and then suddenly a song comes up on the radio and gets us out of it. Well, how does that happen? It's not the song, but the song actually triggered something in our brain to release chemicals to then feel good. So that's the thing, is people want to do business with other people who feel good, who are happy, who are excited about life, not the opposite. And so as an entrepreneur, if you're not excited about your business and what you do, no one's going to be excited for you. You have to be passionate. And if you want to attract a team around what you do, that's step number one, is to get excited, to get passionate, to build out a vision, a mission, a purpose for who you are and what you do, so that will attract others.
Yeah, those are great words of wisdom. So earlier you mentioned that your mother kind of instilled in you, rich people they don't want to share, and how was that? How was your mindset around that change? Because I know a lot of people have that. That's a very common, I would say, misconception, because I don't purposely just hang out with people with money. However, I find that they're probably the most sharing and most giving people because they have the freedom to do that. And I find most of the people that got to a certain point is because they had that abundance mentality. And one of the things I noticed from being in real estate and driving around a lot of neighborhoods, when you go to less desirable neighborhoods, you tend to see a lot of keep out signs on gates. And when you go to more affluent neighborhoods, you see welcome mats. And it's a totally different sort of thing. So that's just something I've noticed in my years in doing my career. But how has your mindset changed as from a result of, I guess, that starting with that one incident where you approached that man that you were very nervous about? How did things change after that for you?
Well, this is the key, is that if you ever come up with a limiting belief, that's what I call them, another word for limiting beliefs, those are the beliefs that just hold you back, what you believe to be true about the world that don't support you and where you want to go. Well, the other word for that is your story, right? What is your story? What is it that you hold on to so tight, and that's your story, and you're sticking to it, that is not supporting you in any way? Well, if I look at my parents, they're both Russian immigrants. So they came from Russia. My dad came to the U.S. with $147 in his pocket. That's it. And they came here. They came from Russia to Canada, then to the U.S. And it was a tough journey for them. I mean, imagine packing up your whole life, taking your kid, moving to a whole different land that you don't know the language. Your whole family, you're leaving them. You're leaving your mom, your dad, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters. You're leaving all of them and then moving somewhere because of the hope, the dream that it's going to be better. Well, that's a huge shift. And so their beliefs got them to where they're at. Now, my parents, they mean well. They're amazing people. I love them. They're phenomenal. And I bless them and I thank them every single day for choosing to move to Southern California. I really do.
Your parents love you a lot more than my parents do. They made me move to Canada. No. I want to move to Southern California.
You're always welcome. And I know you're always out here, so you just need
I am there quite a bit, exactly.
So my parents, they came from a very scarce place. So guess what? They projected their scarce beliefs onto us. Well, it's not their fault, but it is my responsibility to realize, hey, these beliefs, thinking, money doesn't come easy. Money is the root of all evil. You need money to make money. You can't trust anybody. No one's going to run the business as good as you. All of these things, they're all limiting beliefs. When I started my company at 19, one of my biggest beliefs was 19, I'm just a kid. What's the first thing I know? Who's going to buy from a 19-year-old kid? How can a 19-year-old kid, college dropout, I dropped out of college after a year and a half, how can I be successful? My parents, all they said is, Mel, all you need to do to make it in life is work really, really hard, study really, really hard, get good grades, graduate college, and get a really good job. You can fill in the blank, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. I followed those steps. But the thing is that's not what I wanted. And I saw early on in my life, I didn't really know what I wanted. But it's very important for you right now to understand what you don't want. What don't you want in life? And I saw my dad, even though my dad, he owns his own business, it's more like the business owns him. Every single day, if he stops working, he stops making money. And that's actually one of the key things that my mentor taught me was he said, Mel, you have to make something one time and sell it forever. You need to set something up, invest in it maybe, and it keeps on paying you over and over and over again, month to month to month to month. My mom had a really good job. My mom's a pharmacist. She's awesome. She's very smart. But the thing is she doesn't even believe in what she does. She doesn't even believe in putting chemicals in the body. So can you imagine that conflict?
Yeah, you have to do something that's incongruent with your beliefs. I can't, yeah.
That's crazy. And so that showed up in different ways. But early on in life, I realized I don't want that. There must be a different way. And I set out on that path to figure it out at all costs. At all costs. If I ended up broke, dead, it was okay with me. But I knew there had to be a better and different way, because down the road, 15 minutes on the highway, you hit the ocean, and right here there's yachts, there's $10 million houses, there's people living the lifestyle. It's like in my neighborhood, I don't know what these people do, because every day they're walking their dogs and working out and getting stuff done on their house. It's like everyone's retired. And that curiosity compelled me to figure out how the heck did those people get it, and how can I replicate it in my life. And luckily, I found a science that's been around for 30 years that exactly explains the science of success. And it explains how to shift your belief, how to get rid of the bad ones, put in the new ones, how to get rid of negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, all of these emotions that don't belong in our life, let alone our business, let alone our relationships. They don't belong in our life. And then what are the specific skills to grow your business? And really, there's only 4 of them. There's 4 of them that you must master. That's it. It's not really complicated. It's just very simple. It's just if you haven't focused on those 4 things, then you haven't gotten the result. But now, after watching this video, you're going to know the 4 things. I'll explain them to you, and you can start to begin that transformation process right now.
Yep. Well, we need those 4 things. You're leaving us in suspense.
Okay, so I'll share them. I know we have a limited amount of time, Mike, so I'll share them.
Well, you know what? Around here, I get to call the shot, so we can go as long as need be because we need those 4 things now.
Okay, all right. And these 4 things, by the way, I go really in depth into them at the Entrepreneur Revolution, which is the 2-day event, and I have a special gift for your viewers, Mike, and your community. So let's go into these 4 things. The first thing is mindset. Okay, the first thing that you need to lay the foundation, and that foundation is mindset. It's Mike, it's as if building a mansion on a pillar of sand. If you built a mansion on sand, you're not going to do too well, right? It doesn't matter how big your mansion is. And we see a lot of people in this day and age, in our culture, in our society, politicians, rock stars, movie stars, you name it, doing stupid, stupid things. I mean, beating each other, fighting dogs, you name it, we've seen them do crazy shit. And these people are wealthy. They have more money than they need. But why are they still doing stupid stuff? Well, it's because their foundation is sand. And they happen to have mansions on them. It's just like when somebody wins the lottery. Well, somebody wins the lottery 5 years after, this is a statistic, 5 years later, they're broke. How does that happen? You win millions of dollars. Well, it's because it's the same mindset. The rich, that's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's not a socially, demographic thing. It's more of a mindset thing. What beliefs do you have around money? Well, if you believe that money is the root of all evil, why are you going to have any? You're not. I believe that money is just going to amplify who you already are. If you're a good person, you're going to do good things with money. If you're a bad person, you're going to do probably bad things with money. And so money is just a unit of choice. So shifting these beliefs is step 1 in mindset. Step 2 is understanding why do you do what you do. That has to do with values. That has to do with understanding your values and what's important to you. If money is not important to you, and I never say money is the most important thing, it's not. But if money is not even important to you, you won't have any, even if you want it. You see, that's the conflict between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Your conscious mind is 5% of who you are. 95% of who you are is your unconscious mind, your unconscious programming. Once you become aware of that programming, that's the first step to change. Then once you start changing that, you'll start getting a whole different result. Well, there's different tools like NLP, hypnosis, to be able to shift your mind at a rapid pace. So mindset's number 1. Number 2 is sales. You have to love and embrace and get really, really good at selling. It's one of the key things. Selling, in my definition, it's not pushing anything on somebody that they don't need. What selling really is being able to congruently, ethically communicate your message in benefit-driven language to be able to get somebody to say, yes, I want that, and to solve their pain. Whatever problem they have, you're solving it with your service, and that's congruent selling. So in the 2-day Entrepreneur Revolution, I teach a 5-step sales process. Next is marketing. You got to learn how to market. You need to learn how to position yourself as an expert. You need to learn how to profit more with different streams of income. You also need to know how to Here it is. Not only position yourself, not only profit, but also how to promote yourself, online and offline. That is absolutely key. Let's go with one of those right now. One of those is positioning yourself as an expert. Experts get paid more. Excuse me. Experts get paid more. So if experts get paid more, what can you be doing in your marketing to be positioned as an expert? Can you write a book? Can you get interviewed like we're doing right now? Can you write an article? These are all things that will position you as an expert even more. I know, Mike, one of your secret strategies, along with mine, is being able to speak on other people's stages. Well, when you speak on other people's stages, other events that you go to, and they have you as a guest speaker, well, what happens then is right away you're an expert because you're up on stage.
That's so true.
Right? So when you do those type of things, you can position yourself to get paid more. So we went over sales, we went over marketing. After marketing is team building. Team building is the fourth one. Team building is so important because you yourself can only do so much. You yourself, you can do great things, but imagine you with a team. How much more can you achieve? So understanding human psychology is a must. That's one class I took in college that I absolutely loved, that has helped me throughout my entire entrepreneur career, is human psychology. Learning how people get motivated, learning what inspires people, learning how to move people to action. This is absolutely so important. And at the event, the Entrepreneur Revolution, I teach that because that's one of the fundamental things to learn. So how to build a team and how to keep it going for years to come, them being happy, them loving what they do, and them fulfilling the promise that you set them out on. So those are the four crucial things.
Yeah, that's great advice, and I love that you mentioned the team building because that's something that that's something I really push on my students too. Is that if you want to make what you're doing scalable, you can't be a one-man show. It's very difficult to be a solopreneur these days, and so it really comes down to building that, having the right people where you can, once again, you're adding value to each other and helping each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the key, and it takes personal growth. It really does, because think about it. We've all heard this. Oh, hire somebody better than you. Hire somebody better than you. Well, guess what? When you hire somebody better than you, you're going to notice a lot of emotions come out. Your ego starts talking. Oh, this person is, trying to take over, or this person isn't doing it the way that I would do it. You start micromanaging. And guess what? Before you know it, that person is gone. So putting your ego in check, understanding that your ego is self-proportional to your self-esteem. And if your ego is high, your self-esteem is low. So it's time to work on your self-esteem to lower your ego, because the higher your ego, the more broke you'll be. The higher your self-esteem, the better you are. The people I look up to, one of my heroes is Richard Branson. And I had a chance to meet Richard Branson at a black tie event in Marina del Rey here in California. And I got to tell you, he walked into the room the most humble person I have ever met, maybe aside from the Dalai Lama. But Richard Branson walks in, and he starts shaking everybody's hand, saying, "Hey, how are you? What's your name? What's your project? What do you do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Richard," like we don't know. And he's the one.
Richard who?
Yeah. He's the one asking all the questions. He's the most curious, most amazing guy I've ever met. And he has nothing to prove. He's already a billionaire multiple times over. He has nothing to prove, only things to give. That's why people love him. That's why people are willing to work with him, to run his companies. He has 300 plus companies. Now, you might not want 300 plus companies, but think about it. He sits on his island, Necker Island, takes out his black book, writes down ideas, takes that piece of paper, hands it to his corporate team, and they go out and execute it. I mean, that's awesome. But you need people that trust you and people you trust that can carry out that mission. So that is the personal development side of it, because you will only grow, you will only create and develop as far as who you are now. And if what you have now is great, right now, you might be set, Mel, I'm doing great. Awesome. But how do you do better? How do you do even greater? That takes a different mindset, and it takes a different set of emotional intelligence to be able to get to that place. And that's what we teach. That is the entrepreneur revolution. It's an evolution from the inside out. Really, really excited. I'm excited to have you as a guest speaker at one of them, Mike.
I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be really exciting. So I know you have an event coming up very shortly, and unfortunately it conflicts with an event that I'm putting on for my students, but the one after that I'm looking forward to being at. But tell our listeners about the upcoming event, because I'd love for as many people as possible who are watching this to attend. Your information's obviously top notch, and you're the real deal, and so I want to get as many of my people watching to come to your event. So where is it, when is it, and how can they get there?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're watching this video and it really resonated with you and you felt, wow, this is exactly what I need to learn, what I need to master, maybe I'm just starting up and I know I have to have this information, or I'm doing well but I need to go to the next level. Well, this is exactly the event you need. I've compiled this event. It's a 2-day event. It's full immersion. It's not like any event you've ever been to. It's very unique. It's a lot of fun because it's very experiential. At this event, the first day, it's all mindset. It's all mindset. When you decide to go, you're going to leave a completely different person. We have students, Mike, that come in, and they come in with all of their excuses. Oh, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or this and that, or blah, 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 whatever excuses it is. And they leave with a new sense of just empowered, amazing thought patterns that lead them to action to get a whole new different result. It's awesome. So the first day is all mindset. I take you through processes that redecide limiting beliefs, get rid of the old ones, and plug in the new ones. It's an unconscious process. It works permanently. It works every single time. And thousands of students have gone through it, and it's been phenomenal. Second part of day one is getting rid of the number one negative emotion that plagues every single entrepreneur, and that's fear. Fear from raising capital, fear from jumping into an investment, fear from starting up a business, fear from starting up their 5th business, fear from hiring a team, whatever it might be. We get rid of that. Oftentimes students report that it's like a weight has been lifted off of their shoulders after they go through this process. It's amazing. And by the way, these processes I take you through, you yourself can do them at home. You don't need me. That's the key, is you can use them. I want you to be your own guru, not to depend on me. So that's all in day one. Day two is understanding the 5-step sales process. We go through all 5 steps. It's proven. It works every single time. And all you have to do is follow the 5 steps to find out if that is your client or not. To find out, hey, to get that person to make a decision for themselves because they know it's good for them. So you're going to learn the 5-step sales process. That process has made me millions of dollars. I've taught it to sales teams. I've taught it to big corporations that bring me in to consult. And it works every single time. It's awesome. Very, very cool. And it's very congruent and non-salesy. It's really awesome. Then we go into marketing. So I expand on the 3 Ps, profits, positioning, and being able to promote even better. And then there's a secret 4th P, which is process. And that has to do with online building out an unlimited lead generation system online. So we go over that. It's phenomenal. Then the last part on day 2 is team building. It's figuring out, okay, I've been doing this long enough by myself. How do I leverage my time? How do I leverage my efforts and go out there, attract a team that's amazing and that will stick with me and that actually gets the job done. So the event, it's phenomenal. It's 2 days. It's $795. It's well worth it. There's a 100% guarantee. Students come, they pay $795. They fly in from all over the country. We do them in Orange County, in LA, and in San Diego. So you can pick whichever one's closest to you, or just get your ticket now, fly out, get your hotel. We'll take care of you, and you'll have the 2 most amazing days of your life. This is the thing, is Mike, I believe what you teach. I believe in you, and those people that are out there supporting other entrepreneurs, I want to support. So what I'm going to do is something extraordinarily special. So you'll see down here, there's a link, and it will take you to entrerevolution.com. When you do /apply, this is going to be very special, and Mike, this is only for your community. You will be able to apply for a discounted ticket. I can't promise what it will be. I can't promise how many we have, because every event sells out. But when you go to that page and you go to apply, you'll watch a quick 5-minute video. You'll realize, wow, this event is really awesome. I want to be there. Click apply. You will do a survey. You're going to do an assessment. It's called the Entrepreneur Quiz. So we get a better idea to know where you're at in your business. Then it's very important to be honest with yourself. Don't see it better than it is. Don't see it worse than it is. Be honest with yourself when you take that quiz. That quiz will then go to one of our entrepreneur coaches. You will get a phone call, and we will qualify you on the phone, and we'll see if you qualify for the discount. So I want to extend that. And by the way, the discount is substantial. It's very substantial. Go through that process. This is for your community, Mike. It's just a way that I want. That's my gift to you guys, and we'll hook them up.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Mel, for that offer, and I hope a lot of people take you up on it. I can't wait to come to one of your live events. Well, even better to be speaking at it, but also I'd like to attend it as a student as well, because I think you have some great information and a lot of great takeaways. I mean, just in this short conversation we've had, a lot of great takeaways. I'm looking forward to actually rewatching this video and taking notes on it myself.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. You know, and I just want to leave the viewers with one final piece, is that the universe rewards one thing, and one thing only, and that's massive, massive action. I remember my dad, there was a piece of land by where they live that he could have bought. He could have bought this piece of land for $100,000. Now, at that time, he would have had to put $10,000, $20,000 down. It was a big stretch for him. He didn't do it. He would drive by this piece of land every single day on the way to work, back and forth. And he would just think to himself, man, you know, like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? And he never did. He ended up not buying it. Well, looking back on that land today is worth over $2 million.
Oh boy, and he probably still has to drive by it every day.
He kicks himself in the head. You can imagine that. All the time. He's like, oh, I should have, because he thinks to himself, well, that one decision could have completely retired him, because he won't be able to retire unless I help out, which I'm happy to do. That one investment could have taken care of his whole entire family, however he wanted. We could have gone on more trips together. So what I recommend, if this is something you feel connected to, and you feel compelled to take action, and you know you want something different in your life, do it. Don't think about it. Do it. Go to entrerevolution.com /apply. I look forward to meeting you in person and having a great time crafting and building the lifestyle you want by making unlimited amounts of money, building your business the right way. Mike, thank you so much for having me on the line. Let's do this again sometime. I had a great time.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to be here with us and sharing your knowledge. And I just think I love the stuff you're doing, and it's just a pleasure, as always, to chat with you, whether it be online or in person.
Awesome. Yeah, pleasure's all mine. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
And if I don't see you before or talk to you before, good luck at your event. Congratulations to you and Kate, and we'll definitely be talking very shortly.
Sounds good, Mike. Have a good one, and we'll stay in touch. Take care.
Great. Well, thank you, Mel, for being here. Thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to another episode of Entrepreneurs Making a Difference. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you tune in to our next episode.